ए मन प्यारिया तू सदा सच संभाले, एक कुटुंब जो तू देखदा चले ना ही तेरे नाले, साथ तेरे चले ना ही उस नाल क्यों चितलाइए, ऐसा कम मूले ना कीचे जित अंत पछोताइए, सतगुरु का उपदेश सुन तू होवे तेरे नाले, ए मन प्यारिया तू सदा सच संभाले. Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud. This is 15th April 2023, 7:15 p.m. and there are a couple of things I want to document. One is a few things in After Effects scripting that I did today, and along with that I want to document a few things I did in Blender here. This has got to do with the having the texture stretch across instances, and then post that I will take like 5 minutes or so to talk about something like very important in terms of mindset that is happening in life right now. So first, the value stuff. Inside After Effects, in the morning I started working on my script, which is like a bar which I want on the side that I can use to like do things very quickly and very easily. So until now I had opacity switch, pop switch, all these different things in different dockable scripts. I have tried to put it into one script here. So you see on the side here, the one amazing thing I did is I click on this bin button and it removes all media. So if it's same as going to Control M, that's a shortcut that I have set, and then clicking here empty disk cache. It's saving a few seconds just by clicking this button here. Then this input and output will determine switch for fade in, fade out, pop in, pop out. Just to show you an example, here's a magnifying glass here. I can come in here and 20 I can pop in, so this will go 20 frames popping in. If you see, there's a transform effect with 0 to 100. I can similarly pop out, I can fade in, and I can fade out. Okay, so all of that is here now. It's very nicely. You can keep clicking this button, doesn't harm. Now primarily what I want to do is this layer mask dog. This is working amazingly well for the mask. Like if wherever I press, it's gonna go and transition that. I want to do this for entire compositions where I press a button and this will go like over here. You see a lot of the times I do this transition where I want to just transition into like the position from here to I want to go to here. So this whole composition here, I press one button, maybe with Control or Alt or something. Maybe there's a checkbox that enables me to switch the functionality, and then it goes down completely, and same for both of these. So I'll have to probably determine that this has to come from up and this has to go from here to here. So I think for this you press this, and similar button I want here, so that does this coming from up to the screen. Yeah, I'll have to think about the UI and stuff, but that's the next thing. And I need a script for text exploder, which basically allows me to convert a line of text into words, and the position and the font size and everything remains constant. Unlike Text Explorer, it's not doing a great job. It just takes the font weight and style and ruins it completely, so I have to anyway recreate the whole thing. So better version of Text Explorer that works for me. Other than that, I think the important thing that I figured was here, com.open in viewer, it brings you, after the button is clicked here, it brings you back to the composition, which can be useful. Now command IDs, I will try putting this link in the description. It's very useful, like you can use these commands. For example, the media and disk cache, you just put 2439 command.execute ID in 2439 and that does it for you. If I just quickly show you in extend script what I mean here. Yeah, in the code, that's the name of the script. So if I open this little function here called media cache, it's just doing app.execute command 10200. So 102 is this all memory and disk cache, it deletes it all. So 10200, just app.execute command 10200. Similarly, I did that for even convert text, that is 3799. So if I say app.execute command 3799, it is the same as inside After Effects you have a layer which is not a text layer, whatever. If it's a text layer, you can say come create and convert to editable text. So that was one, like two important things I learned just in the 5 minutes. Now for Blender, there was this huge problem which I was facing that I could not figure out. A few videos back I showed like the definitive method of how you can have one texture and have it scale across multiple instances like this, and it was just not working. I tried everything that I could. So before I go into those, into the GeoNodes thing, I want you to see two things here. One is the podium, which is the single unit which is extending up, okay, like this, and I want you to see the topology and everything here. It's actually pretty simple. And the other thing here is the placeholder, which is what we are using to, okay, they are at separate positions. Yeah, so the way I figure out for it to work just somehow is, what is happening is, in my podium, right, I don't want to put this entire mapping and everything into here, because that is what was messing it up, right? This entire mapping and everything that I've done, this I have put only on the front part where there is this logo of the building. So I just selected those few frames and then that, and then for here, all this other pattern you see, this is basically just multiple podiums stacked on top of each other, and because it's a continuous thing, it looks like one continuous thing. Like if I was to go to the start, it just feels like a continuous thing. It's basically this same thing being stacked, and only for the front faces where there is this logo, I've done that object method, which was kind of working. I am not sure why it doesn't work. I spent a lot of time figuring out the podium's UV and why they're like how some things are, and the UVs of the placeholder, like you see the checker texture everywhere. It's a lot of pain to figure, but as of now I've got quite a kind of a solution for what they wanted. So yeah, I'll probably be in a position to render this, and we can call this a project. You see I have changed the color of the buildings here because that's what they wanted. And another thing I want to do is, in the background I want to add a sky texture. So it's a natural sky texture instead of like a gradient that I'm adding inside After Effects. That looks a little fake. I want to have a real, like a natural sky behind. So that is it pretty much for the documentation that I had to do for today. Now, a successful attempt in distracting the mind from what's been going on lately. Now okay, I think I can go from here on a rant. So basically what happened is, in a nutshell, day before yesterday when I came back from the gym, I did something very careless, very irresponsible. The way it works is, I keep my headphones on, the Sony WH-1000XM4, which I was like super fan of. Like everything was so beautiful about it. I keep them on all the time, and only when I come outside on the bike, I put them inside my bag, and then I come back home. That's the only time when I remove them. And I don't know how, but it's not in my bag, it's not anywhere here, it's not in the gym. It's very likely to have happened that when I was putting them in the bag, they slipped down and they fell on the road. It's very hard for me to believe that has happened because they're so heavy and they're so big, and it's that's why I've been upset since yesterday. It's like, how could I be so irresponsible on having dropped them? Also, having said that, they're so valuable to me because the entirety of my workouts are based on the headphone. Like I'm listening to either Nitname or I'm listening to Body Pump and following along. So it's a massive pain to work out without music for me, or having like a connection to a headset without that. I cannot basically work out. So I don't know why or how that happened. Like my favorite verse from Anand Sahib, which is by Guru Amar Das ji, and the verse goes like, "ए मन प्यारिया तू सदा सच संभाले, एक कुटुंब जो तू देखदा चले ना ही तेरे नाले, साथ तेरे चले ना ही उस नाल क्यों चितलाइए, ऐसा कम मूले ना कीचे जित अंत पछोताइए, सदगुरु का उपदेश सुन तू होवे तेरे नाले, ए मन प्यारिया तू सदा सच संभाले." If I have to summarize what it means, we're basically talking to the mind. It's a conversation with the mind. ए मन प्यारिया तू सदा सच संभाले, एक कुटुंब जो तू देखदा चले ना ही तेरे नाले. Whatever you see around you, the material things, everything in this material world, which is not the true self. I'm picking up Vedanta here because there are a lot of philosophies which are mingling in my mind to come to conclusions. But the truth, which is anything which is not the true self, it's not going to go with you. And by with you mean like when you die, all of this material, this wealth, this house, this space that you live in, to the extent of people in your life, very important relationships, none of them are going to go with you. You can also consider it like in deep sleep. None of these go with you in deep sleep. So death is also kind of a deep sleep where you transition from one body to another. Again, I'm going too deep in Vedanta philosophy though. But what the gist of it for Anand Sahib's verse is, all of this is not going to go with you, then साथ तेरे चले नहीं उस नाल क्यों चितलाइए. So why mind, oh mind, why do you get attached to the things which are not going to go with you, right? No matter how dear they are or how dear they feel they are, and you cannot survive without them, the headphones in this case. Why do you attach yourself to them? ऐसा कम मूले ना कीचे जित अंत पछताइए. Don't do anything which later you're gonna regret. सदगुरु का उपदेश सुन तू होवे तेरे नाले. Listen to what Sadguru is trying to tell here, and that is, ए मन पे आ रहा है तो सदा सच संभाले. Always be with the truth, the reality, the higher truth, which is the true self and Vedanta and God of religion. Just be with the truth. It's easier said than done, because I was thinking about this. What's the point of all my spiritual learnings and growth and philosophy and inquiry, self-inquiry, if something as benign as having lost a headphone is gonna affect me so much? And the reason I was upset is not, there is a part of it is that it was an expensive headphone and I bought it from my own money. It was one of, I actually remember documenting this on In the Khud at some point, that wow, this was the biggest investment I've done so far. And that is one reason. But the more important reason for me is because I'm excessively responsible with everything that I do, it is very hard for me to digest that I did something so irresponsible, like just losing something like a valuable accessory that I had. And that is what made me more upset since yesterday up until today. Like, I've been trying to fight and battle the mind, but it just keeps, it's the tendency of the mind. It will keep playing, looping the whole thing. Like, why did I not take more care? Why wasn't I cautious? Why didn't I just put it into a case? There is a proper case that comes with the headset. Why was I being so careless and just putting it in the bag and not worrying about it and taking it for granted? Basically, the idea of hukam in Guru Granth Sahib Ji is, you just, even this stoic, the entire stoic idea, I think it's called amor fati, where whatever has happened, you just accept it. You don't resist something that is. And it's a tendency of the mind to resist what is. So this is kind of like a wake-up call for me to just reality check. Like, are you being aware enough? Are you being mindful enough of your life? Or you're just like unconsciously living through, and then you end up doing mistakes like these, which tend to upset the mind so much. I am on a journey, and the mind is on a journey. It is not purified enough that it can stay with the truth, as they say, or just stay with the self all the time. It is like susceptible to getting upset on things or losing something which is dear. And I think this is like a good preparation for me, because if for whatever reason God has to do something, or something much extreme has to happen with me. God doesn't do anything actually, but everything is just happening. So something more extreme has to happen with me in the future, where I end up losing some person that, that I cannot replace. This headphone I can still replace. It'll cost me a little money. But if something of that sort happens, I will still be in a similar situation. Of course, that will be on a different tangent and it'll be more complex, but the crust of it is going to be the same. I will have to convince the mind that it is beyond my control and there's nothing I can do about it. So you just accept and not resist. So accept what is instead of resisting what is, because the resistance is only going to create more trouble. It's not going to solve anything. Like, for right now, I can sit and lament and be worried and keep being stressed about the fact that I've made this mistake of losing my headphone. It's not going to serve any purpose. It's lost. Somebody picked it up on the road. I don't know what happened with it. It's gone. I mean, from my perspective, I've tried looking everywhere and I cannot find it. It's probably gone. It has to be a miracle now that somebody just comes up to me on the street and be like, hey, you dropped this the other day, here you go. I don't expect that to happen, because it's very unrealistic. If it does, amazing, very nice. But this is like a very good exercise for my mind to just think about these things a bit. And I know In the Khud was supposed to be a professional vlog where I only document things which are like professional, but in the past as well, I have used it as a journaling medium to let go of a lot of things in the mind, because this acts like a very good outlet. Like, right now that I've talked about this and I will be uploading this video, it is almost like I have taken this thing that was like almost like a tied knot in my mind, and I've undone it and I've put it out of the system. So that's why journaling works, right? You just get it out of the system, put it on paper. And for me, instead of writing on paper, I prefer the medium of video, because that's what I know to do. So I am probably late. I'm getting late. 7:30 already. I have to leave. Yesterday I did my workout without the headphone, without the music, and it was absolute disaster. And even today I have to do the same. So for the headphone situation, I am looking for an alternative budget headphone which will just get the workout job done. And I am not gonna again buy the Sony headphone. It's not that I cannot afford to, but I want to practice some form of self-control here maybe, because it's my mistake and I need to own up to the fact that I've messed up here. So I'm not gonna buy the Sony ones again, the headphones. I'll buy like a budget earphones which get the job done, because I was primarily using it for only workout, so I don't need to get a 23,000 rupee headphone just for working out. For work here especially, if I really need the Sony WH-1000 XM4 or any such like studio headphone, I will go and get it, but not right now. So yeah, that's a little mindset thing I want to do. And thank you so much for being in the khud, and appreciate you being here. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.